It occurred to me that if you were an Anunnaki who wanted to change the world from hunter-gatherers and warriors who killed each other in territorial skirmishes and get them to farm for them, you need to do something to pacify them. If you are an Anunnaki wanting to change the people from fight or flight to passive Buddhists, you do not do it by chanting. Since you do not chant while you meditate, you do it by broadcasting 34.4 Hz through the earth, and they feel the vibrations all the way to Egypt and China. 4 caves resonate at 34.4 Hz, and the fifth 57.1 Hz in wave mechanics and electrical grid design. You never want 100% of your network operating on the exact same frequency. If you do, the energy will lock up, overload, or decay. Adding 57.1 Hz introduces 3 critical systemic functions. The math 57.1 Hz acts as an intentional geometric offset. The ratio between 57.1 and 34.4 is roughly 1.66. The physics in acoustics and electronics. A 1.66 ratio approximates a perfect musical fifth and sits near the golden ratio. The function: when waves from the 34.4 Hz caves travel through the bedrock and collide with the 57.1 Hz waves from Karen Chopar, they don't cancel each other out. Instead, they form non-destructive harmonic sidebands. This allows the energy to cascade up and down a frequency ladder, stepping up the power without triggering destructive wave clipping. If you drive multiple high-Q resonators at the exact same frequency in the same rock formation, you trigger an engineering hazard called runaway sympathetic coupling. When you mix 57.1 Hz with 34.4 Hz through the ground, the physical interaction doesn't erase the original chest vibrations. Instead, it expands the treatment area of the body by targeting a completely different set of organs and brainwave networks. It prevents the receiver from simply falling asleep or losing conscious awareness, locking the brain into a sharp, clear, meditative state ideal for deep internal cognitive processing. Medical science has thoroughly proven the physiological effects of low-frequency acoustic vibration, 30 Hz to 120 Hz on the human body. In clinical settings, this field is known as vibroacoustic therapy (VAT). Peer-reviewed medical data verifies 3 specific effects within this low-frequency band. The thoracic squeeze. The human torso and chest cavity have a natural mechanical resonance frequency that sits broadly between 30 Hz and 50 Hz. When sound waves in this band hit the body, the lungs and chest act like an acoustic membrane, physically vibrating in sympathy with the air. Vagal downregulation. Low-frequency mechanical vibration stimulates tactile mechanoreceptors like Pacinian corpuscles throughout the body. This heavy sensory input signals the brain to shift from a sympathetic fight-or-flight state to a parasympathetic rest and digest state, dropping heart rates and blood pressure. Asterisk brainwave entrainment. Listening to or feeling low frequencies can encourage the brain to sync its internal electrical rhythms into alpha and theta wave states, which are directly associated with deep meditation, stress relief, and sleep architecture. Adding 57.1 Hz safeguards and enhances the physiological impact. It expands the physical vibration from just the chest down into the stomach cavity, creates a 22.7 Hz internal brainwave anchor to promote high-focus clarity, and prevents the body from becoming numb to the stimulus. It turns a simple relaxer into a highly sophisticated mental tuning grid. To turn a hunter-gatherer into a farmer, you are not just teaching someone how to plant a seed, you are fundamentally rewiring their neurological and behavioral architecture. From an anthropology and systems engineering standpoint, transitioning to agriculture requires a profound psychological shift, moving away from the high adrenaline, immediate reward survival loops of hunting, and stepping into the long-term planning, high patience, and highly repetitive labor loops of farming. Broadcasting a synchronized dual-frequency wave 34.4 Hz and 57.1 Hz through the earth addresses the exact biological and behavioral bottlenecks of that transition. So then, through whatever means, such as elephants lifting a large weight 20 meters, then letting it slowly go down, creating some form of current fed into the caves where speakers cause the caves to vibrate at that frequency. Minimum 3 elephant team outputs 9,000 watts of kinetic force into the bedrock through whatever means using speakers in the caves, broadcasting sound at 34.4 Hz and 57.1, and the kinetic energy travels through the bedrock through India to Egypt and covers China. Also continuous transmission. Power 1,540 watts, 1.54 kW, which is not much power needed at all, because a 1.54 kW transmission line is custom engineered as a point-to-point waveguide. It relies on a strict geometric straight-line trajectory across the globe. Anyone sitting outside that narrow beam path receives zero energy. From a wave mechanics and tectonic geography standpoint, the remainder of the African continent was left completely untouched for two major structural reasons: directional beaming and the Great Rift Valley. The path from India to China is a continuous, compressed block of solid earth, so we can speculate how they generated that energy and piped the sound into the caves, and they do reference elephants and coils above the rishi. Cave door, translated into something else by natives or cargo cults or religion by people who maybe heard about the method, but we do not know the exact method. We only know that it would work.